Hello, I want to share some thoughts from this book, Money and Your Wellbeing. The purpose of this book is to help us cultivate a healthy relationship between money and human well-being so that we can prioritize or value our well-being or human well-being over money and not see money as an end in itself, but a means to a certain end, and that end is well-being. One of the challenges that we can face because we try to find substitutes for money in achieving well-being is that we may be tempted to think that we don't need to make more money. There's no need to apply ourselves to work, to start new businesses, to run our businesses, to expand our businesses because we don't need so much money. We have found substitutes for money, for good self-esteem, for happiness, and we are only left with survival to purchase with money. Then it means that our financial burden can easily reduce and our financial stress can also reduce, and we can easily achieve financial freedom because our money goals don't involve looking for happiness with money, looking for a good self-esteem with money, but only taking care of survival. And we ought to be thinking, why do I need to work for more money? Why do I need to start a new business? Why do I need to expand my business? Because these things will make me more money. What am I going to do with the more money? When I have achieved financial freedom, survival is taken care of today, and survival is taken care of in the future. So you may be thinking that, well, you need to then be laid back, not be ambitious enough in the pursuit of success, in the pursuit of money. The antidote to this kind of thinking is to understand that when we talk about money substitutes or finding substitutes for money in achieving happiness and a good self-esteem, it is not to kill your ambition toward the search for money or kill your ambition to be a successful human being. It is just to indicate that the human being is worth much more than money. So you cannot quantify human worth or the value of the human being in terms of money and what money can buy. So then you cannot quantify the satisfaction or fulfillment you have in terms of the watch you are wearing, the clothes that you are wearing, the car that you drive. When you do that, you are trying to say that the value of the human being, the worth of the human being is quantified in money and what money can buy. And that's a kind of disrespect to a human being created in God's image. So the goal is not to devalue the worth and the value of the human being created in God's image by trying to quantify the worth and the value of the human being in monetary terms and in what money can buy. It is not to suggest that you need to lack ambition towards making more money. If you are tempted to lack ambition towards making more money because you have found substitutes for money in achieving well-being, you have to understand that the purpose of work or the job you do or the business that you run or the business that you want to start is not to just make money, but also the business, the work you do are all meant to solve human problems. The reason why a business is established is because we found a human problem that threatens human well-being, that threatens human survival and happiness. And we believe that when we solve these problems, people can buy the solution in terms of a product or a service to solve their problems that threaten their well-being. The reason why money has value is because we need to purchase products and services that can improve our quality of life and to improve our well-being. If you are not too frail, you are not too old or frail to work, or you're not having a health challenge that cannot make you work, financial freedom should only mean that you have the freedom of choice to choose the lifestyle that you want, to choose the work you want to do. But it should not mean that because you can meet your financial goals, you want to give up on solving the problem that you need to solve to improve human well-being. In the same sense, you can have free money, you can inherit money, you can inherit assets, you can win the lottery, you can win a bet, you still have to think that we still need you to produce something, a product, a service, because human survival depends on the products and the services that we produce as solutions to human problems. I don't need to grow my own food. I don't need to be the one to create the shelter that I live in. I am not the one who manufactured the car that I drive or created the clothing that I wear. So somebody must always create something for me to make me survive, whether that person has too much money or not. In the same sense, whether I have too much money or not, I must still continue to do what I need to do to improve the quality of life of humanity. That is why many wealthy people, they are worth billions of dollars, but they don't close down their businesses. They don't make the excuse that they have too much money, they have achieved financial independence, financial freedom, and so they stop doing their businesses. We rather see them expanding. We have seen the mobile phones being improved with more features to improve the quality of life of humanity. And we know that the people who manufacture these mobile phones, for instance, are worth millions of dollars or billions of dollars. The cars that we drive are always being improved over the years. Yet the manufacturers of the cars and their CEOs and their leaders are worth so much money. Yet they don't stop improving the quality of life of humanity. We look at the social media platforms, you see additions, new features to improve communication. Someone is always trying to improve on something, and these people are worth billions of dollars. The extent of your ability to solve human problems ought not to be limited by the fact that you have too much money. Your human potential should be the determining factor as to how far you can go solving human problems or how far you should go solving human problems. So being aware that the human being created in God's image has some creative abilities, have what it takes to be, to do, and have what is humanly possible. What you should be thinking about is, if I have a lot of potential because of God's ability inside of me, then it means that I have what it takes to identify human problems, pull some resources together, and find solutions to these human problems to improve the quality of life of the human being. Because the things that you do and the solutions that you provide are required for our survival and for our happiness.